Welcome back. It's a Monday and we have motivation. Now, you probably once or twice a year scroll through your phone book and see some phone numbers you've not connected with in probably 2-3 years. And you wonder why. When you met this person, took the person's number, did you create an authentic connection with that person? That's the question that's been running through my head ever since I heard the topic for today's discussion, building authentic connections. Well, Gabriel Balogun is a friend of the house. He's a speaker, workshop facilitator, L&D leader. He's known for cultivating high-performing teams as he coaches individuals and consults for companies and organizations. He speaks regularly on subjects just like this that empower human capital and drive personal development. And that's why we're here this morning. We're hoping that after today, you'll have a little inkling into how to build authentic connections. It's great to have you back.
It's good to be back.
GB Balogun.
Yes.
All right. So the term connections, we hear that term all the time. I get one connect. I get one connect. I get one guy. I get Pacific. You know, I have someone in this space that can help. But how do you build from just networking and getting someone's details to building an authentic connection?
Yeah, I think that every connection is built on value exchange.
Okay.
And I know that can sound very commercial, but that's because when we think of value as something that I need to exchange resources for.
Okay.
But value could be as simple as, this guy just makes me feel safe. And that's value. Or the security guard just washes my car every morning without me telling him. I can give him like an extra 10K.
Wow.
That's value, right? So that's how you build relationships. That's how you build connections. You want to be able to say, there is something that you do for me, or there is something that I do for you that strengthens our relationship, and that's value.
So now this initial conversation, maybe you're at an event or at a party, and you discover that this is someone that, you know, would be good to have in your network, or at least to be familiar with or establish a connection with. What you are saying essentially is, don't go with the mindset of what can I get from you.
Definitely.
I need to go with the mindset of what can I provide or what service can I give to you.
Yes. You want me to say on that? Yeah, I think that when people choose to outdo themselves in kindness, we have authentic connections. If you approach every relationship from what can I do for you, you would realize that all things being equal, except the person is a terrible person, they would use you. But if the person is a good person, the human being cannot survive from receiving alone. There is a law called the law of reciprocity. Every human being that is good is compelled to do good back to any person that has done good to them. So when you approach conversations from what can I do for you, not necessarily what can I sell to you, but do you have a book launch that I can organize for you? Do you have something?
Yeah.
Once you discover those things.
So what value can I provide?
Yes.
So I think this conversation sort of then leans on to people understanding what value they can provide. Why do you think people don't see themselves as having enough value to give?
It's because we underestimate what we underestimate what we can do for people. Okay. So you meet an HNI, an high net worth individual, and you're like, I know there is no amount of shoe, bag, purse that I can buy for this person that he or she cannot afford. Or perhaps maybe they just need someone that can be a role model to their child. They need a young person that their child can look up to. Or I run a business or a sports team, and I can invite their child to come play soccer with me, and then he gets to understand what it means to be an adult, a young adult, that's something you can offer. That's
value.
Yeah, that's value.
Yeah. So we need to sort of begin to look into ourselves and discover what value we can provide. Now, there are a lot of, when I said, you know, when I asked that question, thinking about what value we can provide, some people don't really feel like what they do is valuable to others. Maybe they think that they are just another statistic. They're just another banker, they're just another teller, just another civil servant. you know, they don't really see what they do as valuable. I think that's sort of innate, maybe a cultural issue.
Yeah.
Of trying to see yourself as humble and not arrogant. Do you think that's where the issue is?
Yeah, I think people think too little of themselves.
Okay.
We think too little of ourselves. We think that what we have or what we do not really matter, but it's a lie. It's an absolute lie. The guy that sells petrol can be the best friend of the bank manager if he calls the guy every time there's scarcity and say, "Oh, that fuel deal, make I keep for you." You would realize that he's just
It's a
dropout of a school dropout that sells petrol, but him and that person, possibly at the top of his career, are good friends now because you're supplying something. I think people need to look beyond what I even do into who I am, what kind of a person I am. Are there things around me that other people are struggling for that I can effortlessly do? How can I offer that to them and then build relationships from there?
And building that relationship is now a delicate process, especially in a place like Nigeria,
Definitely.
where I feel like people are wary of offering services or doing good because they've been burnt a few times before.
Yes.
Or they've provided a service and not been received value in reciprocity. I'm thinking about, you know, the average person who maybe, you mentioned someone who cleans your car and doesn't get the tip. And eventually just decides not to do it anymore. So where do we go from there? You've been providing a service, you've been doing what you can to establish this connection, and it hasn't been working. What do we do next?
Two things. You can continue to do it.
Okay.
And not expect anything and just do it because that's who you are, right? Or you can choose not to do it anymore.
Okay.
And then look for someone else who values it. And this, let me add this. In the roadmap, the framework for building connections, you have to find a gap, then plug that gap, then bridge that gap.
Okay.
Right? Finding the gap is the most difficult thing. Perhaps maybe what that person wants from you is not washing car.
Okay.
Maybe what the person wants from you is maybe taking out the trash.
Wow.
You don't know.
Okay.
So you have to, every day, as you try to build relationship with that person, study what they put up, study what they talk about the most.
Yeah.
For knowledge people like us, for instance, anybody that is online that can take notes of everything I say and send me a PDF document and say, I was watching you and this is what you said, that person becomes valuable to me. Sure. Because you're putting my thoughts down on paper for me, right? So you have to find the gap, then plug it, and then continually do it. That's how you sustain those relationships.
So finding the gap, find that space, find what value you can provide for someone else to establish that authentic connection. We have Gabriel Balogun in the building once again. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us. Hopefully you are sufficiently motivated this Monday to go ahead and provide value for someone else and establish an authentic connection.